Hi everyone, this is Amy from the Helms Academy, and today we'll be doing our Reading and Writing Club recap from April 27th, 2021 on building vocab skills. So we'll start with a little game, a little bit of vocabulary matching to figure out which word goes with which definition. Now we're going to start by looking at the list of just the words, because sometimes it's good to look at the words alone and see what you already know about them. So what I'd encourage you to do is pause your video to look over these words and see if there are any that you already are familiar with and know. See if you can even put a definition in your own words. Go ahead and pause your video now. Now, once we see the words and have our own definitions, it's easier to figure out how they connect with the real definitions. So there's a little bit of a matching game here. You'll see there are 5 words, and there are 5 definitions given. Each word has one definition. So take a moment now to look over these words and definitions and see if you can match them with the numbers to the letters. Go ahead and pause your video now. All right, is an answer key we have popping up here. You can see 1 goes with C, 2 goes with A, 3 goes with D, 4 goes with E, and 5 goes with B. So check your answers, see how you did on this, and this is just one way to quiz yourself on some vocabulary today. These words are taken from a list that are the most frequently used lists of words on the GED. The GED and the HiSET will have very similar vocabulary across the board, and these words are ones that come up often in both the GED and HiSET as well as in life. So how do you learn new words and build your vocabulary? Think about that now. Do you already have some strategies that are useful to you, something that you have been doing? It's good to know what you're already doing, and that way we can build on that and also think about some other ways that might be helpful. So the first suggestion I have for you is to practice reading out loud. When you read out loud, it really helps to be able to hear what you are seeing on the page and to ultimately kind of develop a voice where you are listening to that reading. Reading out loud will bring more confidence in your reading, will give you more opportunities to correct yourself when reading, and again, it'll help you develop that reading voice. Now, a reading voice is what you hear when you're reading quietly to yourself in your head. It's how the words are processed. Now, as we know when we're speaking, it's really difficult to understand someone and to pay attention to them if the voice is just monotone and it never changes at all. But if you have someone who's expressive and they change their tone and they use all sorts of different emotions in their reading, it's much easier to follow along with the story or the text. So when you develop your reading voice, you're creating that kind of voice in your head. Now, there are a few ways you could do this. One great way to do it is to listen to audiobooks. Find something that you enjoy. There's no wrong decision when it comes to picking out a book. Sometimes folks will be so worked up about which book they should read that they don't pick something they actually enjoy. It's much better to pick something that you actually really enjoy and that you're looking forward to listening to or reading, that will actually keep you engaged. Now, you can also practice reading to kids if you have any kids in your life, whether those are your own, your neighbors, and other family members, friends of yours. It's a great idea to get connected with some kids who like to hear you read. That builds up your confidence. And again, kids like listening to more energetic stories. So it's going to inspire you to put a little bit of emotion into your reading. Now, sounding it out. This is really important for pronunciation. Sometimes when you're reading, you'll see a word and your brain might try to tell you it's another word that's more familiar to you than the one that's actually there. In that case, it's really important to be able to sound out a word, especially longer words that may be a little confusing. Sounding it out just means taking it syllable by syllable, letter by letter, and trying to break it down into something that makes more sense. Sometimes you'll actually know the word. You just haven't actually seen it written out before. And once you're able to sound it out and get the pronunciation, you'll recognize it and be able to move on. Now, you can also think about different ways that words can be used. This is a great way to build your vocabulary. If you know one word, you often know that there will be other related words that are similar to it, but will be written out differently. So for example, if you know the word authority, right, like someone in charge, then the verb version of that could be authorize. An adjective would be authoritative, and adverb could be authoritatively. Same thing, if we had the verb legalize, you might know that the adjective then is legal, and then the adverb is legally. We know construction, then we also know construct and constructive and constructively. And while all of these words aren't identical in their meanings, they're all coming from the same family. So the more that you can connect them with other words that you know and expand your vocabulary from the ones that you already have in your head, the more that you'll be able to recognize those meanings in context. Now, I'd also encourage you to write down new words that you see. Perhaps you have a notebook where you take notes as you're preparing for your GED, HiSET, or TASC test, and I'd encourage you to write down the new words that come up. You could do that on the inside of the cover, you could do that on a special page, or maybe also you write them as you go, but highlight them in your book in a special color so that you know when new vocabulary has come up. You should also write down the definition with it so that you can always see that over and over. The saying goes that a dull pencil remembers more than a sharp mind. So writing it down is more important than just saying, I'll remember this tomorrow or in a week. We're very forgetful people. It's just the nature of being a human being, and there are lots of things that demand our attention and memory. So writing something down will help it commit to memory more easily. I also want to encourage you to use closed captions when you're watching TV. Oftentimes, you might hear a word often, whether it's on television or in a movie, and then you may not know how to actually spell it or how it looks when written down. So if you're able to watch the closed captions, then you will hear a word and you'll also see how it's written at the bottom. So this helps to make more of that brain connection. Now, a couple of tips for you if you're looking for ways to expand your vocabulary. Merriam-Webster on both their app and their website has a word of the day. So you can go and check out the word of the day and learn a new word every single day of the week. I'd also encourage you to play games. So you can go to freerice.com and find some free vocabulary practice while also contributing to efforts to end world hunger. This website is supported by the United Nations. And also you can check out on the Merriam-Webster website the weekly vocabulary quiz. This quiz is available for free, and there are 4 different levels of difficulty, and you can try each week to see how many vocabulary words you know and learn some new ones in the process. Thank you so much for joining me today, and good luck on your tests. We have tons more videos for you to check out here on the Helms Academy YouTube channel, and I'd encourage you to like the video with a thumbs up and leave a comment if you enjoyed it today. You can always subscribe to get the latest updates. You can also check out the Helms Academy on Facebook and Instagram and on our website at helmsacademy.org.